Hello my beautiful Taurus, thank you very much for joining me on this, your September reading for 2017. I'm Lorien and it's a pleasure to do this reading for you every month. This is a general reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising sign. So if you want to check out all the other rising and moon and various things that make up your chart, do so. And also there is an option to check out your Venus sign, maybe for the more romantic of you out there to see what's coming up. So, let's see what's coming through for you. I have meditated and I have basically channeled some stuff already for you. I'm just going to see if it's reflected in these cards. These are the Everyday Witch cards by Deborah. Whoop, this one already wants to come through. And the romantic of you are already sending a message to me. Hello, Ace of Cups. Okay, fine. Yeah, this is the Deborah Blake deck, Everyday Witch Tarot. And if you'd like to have a personal reading with me rather than just a general one, the link to do so is to my website down below, and also the information to email me is down there too if you'd like to see if, ask me what reading might be best. I have had a few people ask me like what reading would you suggest for things, so I'm more than happy to do that for you and guide you in any way I can. So let's see what comes through for dear Taurus this month. It's an Earth month, so it should be good. I get the feeling that there's almost like a cauldron bubbling somewhere, so that may be where that's coming from as well. There's a lot of cauldron imagery in my meditation for you guys actually, and they just told me to stop. So here we go. Wow. You have the Star, you have the Knight of Pentacles, and you have this in the way. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. That's awesome. You have the Ten of Cups, Ten of Wands. Oh, sorry, Two of Cups, Ten of Wands. Ten of Swords. And the Nine of Swords. What's going on with you? Okay, and beneath, the Nine of Pentacles. I love this card. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that there. Okay, and I am just going to move this camera down just so you can see all the other cards and the tripod leg. But there you go. Okay, let's see what information comes through for our dear Taurus this time. Okay, there is some growth here, and I do think that there's quite a bit of unforeseen circumstances. Now, it seems silly, when psychics close the shop and they say, oh, it's due to unforeseen circumstances, and there's that whole joke about it. I actually do think that something's going to take you off guard this month. Sorry, my paintbrushes keep making a noise. And I do believe that there's going to be quite a lot of back and forth, maybe between you and a loved one, just to try and get some conversations going and understanding as to what each other means, that kind of thing. There is a struggle, I think, uphill, maybe with your own emotions. I think this is coming through most of all. It does feel as though there's a lot of intensity from your side. You are going to have to be a bit patient with some things, but I actually think that you're going to have quite a positive month. Despite everything that may be down here, I think on the surface and very much progressive wise, I think you're going to have a damn good month, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel like you have to redo any of the lessons that maybe you've had in the past. Certainly doesn't seem like you have to renegotiate anything with anybody. I feel like there's a lot of people who may want to take things from you, maybe even take you for granted a little bit, because for me, I think that some friends are not really being 100% nice and honest with you in regards to some certain stuff, and I would recommend that you kind of distance yourself from people who you may think are kind of taking advantage of you. That's not for everybody, that's just from a few of you. But in general, it does seem like there's a positive turn of events coming through, because you have the Ace of Cups here. Now, the Ace of Cups is always about new beginnings. This is a potential energy coming in of passion, intimacy, maybe a little bit of compassion too. I think that there's a little bit of gentility coming through with here. But this, I think, is benefit of maybe being more in your creative zone, more in your expansion. Somebody, I think, is on your mind in particular. And they're saying, wait for this to grow. Some of your emotions are going to be spilling over this month. Don't worry about that. I know you're not particularly emotive sign. You are emotional, but you're not emotive. And I think that you just have to get in touch with your inner water. That's basically what it means. I think also as well, you can, if you feel so full that your cup's overflowing and everything's wonderful, you do need to bring this forward. And strangely enough, there were 2 doves in my meditation. So cauldrons and doves, maybe they actually wanted this to come through for you in the first place. I would say that there will be a union this month. There will be some understanding between you and two people, because you have the 2 of Cups here as well, and this is a basic celebration. I think this is something that you can basically understand, and I'm already seeing a story here. I'm just gonna bear with me. I'm just gonna put this up. Okay, so as you can see, you've got the little black kitty with the carp in the pool and little tortoiseshell kitty drinking the water. Then in this card here, the black kitty offers the carp to the tortoiseshell kitty who's in that card. So he's already scouting out some stuff here. Okay, so I don't know whether you can see. He's already scoping out some fishy things. Maybe to even see what he can give. What does he have to give to this potential relationship? What does he have to give to this combination of people and trust? And that could be you, that little kitty down there. It could be that you're maybe drinking up the fruits of your efforts and you're kind of lapping things up a little bit because the energy's good. But I think also this black kitty could be you as well, or part of you, because you are going to look with this star card for the inspiration, for the guidance from guides. Somebody just told me Thomas, but I think that's for somebody else. You're going to be looking for guidance from certain, maybe the universe, angels, goddesses, if that's your path. Just something that seems to be speaking to you. And you're actually going to find the gift that you can bring into this relationship, or you can bring it into this conversation with the partnership, or with the university, or with the building that you're in, or your neighbours, or whatever. It just feels like you're actually seeing what it is you can actually give to a relationship, to this new beginning, what you can bring down from the universe to actually put into action, just in general. I think this is very important for you to know that you are actually very strong when it comes to abilities. You're very positive. I think that there's a lot of intensity that comes through with you quite a bit, a lot of the time. But this is not the time that you need to be paying attention to that intensity. I don't think that you have to worry too much. Yeah, they just keep saying don't worry too much. I don't really know why. That there's something that just seems to be like saying no, you don't have to be too, I don't know how to put it, too focused on things. You don't have to be too pushed to do things, because that I think will create the 10 of Wands here. That I think would create that sense of heaviness and that feeling maybe of being a little bit too pushed for time, too pushed for how you can be with people, and that is not something that you need to process, I think, at this time. But let me just see how these 2 feel with each other, because for me this is all about saying, look, up here, psychic wise, you're pretty damn good. You've got a connection there. They want you to have that balance. But then I think down below, you're going to be carrying some heavy stuff. You're going to be carrying some stuff that maybe you didn't really want to carry in the first place. Other people's responsibilities. Maybe thinking that, okay, they're saying don't think of being guided or meditation as a chore. Don't think of talking to your guides or the universe as something that, oh, it's homework, oh no. Don't think of it like that. If it's like that, then you're not into it. Then it's not right for you. What you need to do is shift off a lot of the stuff that maybe even you're forgetting to do, because it could be the opposite way. Maybe you're forgetting to do all this stuff and having to do it last minute because you're so focused on what's happening up here in the spiritual realm. There needs to be balance. There needs to be more focus on bills and stuff and all the boring things that we as humans created. But also it could be the fact that you're kind of more occupied with that and you don't want to think of that. So it's either or, I think, for you, Taurus. But I do believe that if you want guidance, it'll come to you. If you just expect it to happen anyway, it won't. You know, you have to be open to the interpretation of things coming through to you. You have to be open to people maybe being sent in as their own type of guide. There are stories that I could tell you that I know from friends where they met somebody who guided them onto a particular path and they never saw them again. Now that could literally be an angel that comes through, or it could just be somebody who was compelled to come in at that moment in time to your life to actually send you on a particular direction. And I think that's something that you may have to be open to and welcome to. Otherwise, it could feel like you're kind of stabbing yourself in the back and maybe not getting the potential that you need. But the Knight of Pentacles here is here to basically tell you there needs to be some motion, there needs to be some routine. I think that you're going to be sailing when it comes to the maybe nitty-gritty stuff. I also feel like he's here with a lot of positivity. He's here with a general sense of encouragement, trying to get you in some kind of forward motion here too. It feels as though there's a lot of positivity, and I would say that you can have your, what's it called? Your cake and eat it. There you go. You can have your cake and eat it with this one. I don't think that you have to be too worried about how things will look at you in general. But so long as you keep moving forward, so long as you keep that train running, and they are literally showing me a train running, kind of steaming ahead. They just don't want you to feel like you haven't got anything to give, or that you've been derailed. You know, like the last thing you were meant to do is now out of your reach because something's happened and you're kind of flat on your back and you can't do it anymore. That kind of thing. I don't think that this is for literal. For a lot of you, this is not literal. So it doesn't mean that somebody's going to betray you and stab you in the back. It doesn't literally mean that. But I do think that you could feel like people are letting you down a little bit because they're not helping you kind of with the load that you've given. You have a lot of 10s here, actually. You have quite a lot of 10 cards. And I do think that this is all about completion. So there is a cycle coming around and there are things that you just have to complete in a way. But this is very strong. This Wheel of Fortune card is so strong for you. And to me, this interprets as this month could be anything that you want to focus on. You know, Wheel of Fortune, what shall I focus on this month? Oh, house. Oh, love. Oh, knowledge. You know, it could be anything that you want to create here. And I do think that if somebody's not on board with that, or if they're kind of going, well, you're very fickle, aren't you? You were last week, you were talking about this, and this month you're talking about this. Don't really pay attention to that. I think each month will have a theme for you. Some of it may just seem like same shit, different day. You know, I'm not going to lie. It may just be like, oh, this is exactly the same as August, which was exactly the same as July. But you have the potential to change it, I think, if you can just maybe make an additional effort, but not to the extent of hurting yourself, to actually maybe plug in to the universal consciousness, you may feel like things are changing. I do see that there's maybe some bills coming in for you that you'll have to deal with, and then you might have some stuff to talk about with other people, because the 5th of September is when Mercury finally buggers off, you know? So when Mercury is finally buggered off somewhere else and gone direct instead of retrograde, I think this is going to be something that kind of opens up the conversation again, and that should be something that really allows you to explore certain things. But you do have the 9 of Swords here, which is kind of like, maybe you're fearful of change, maybe you're fearful of how big this change can be. Because not everybody embraces change. You're quite a static sign, you're a fixed sign, so I would say that this could be a little bit of anxiety, maybe also a little bit of recovery. It's almost like you have all this knowledge, all this experience, and still you're not sure what to do. Don't worry. Ask. Speak out. Because if you notice, this is the same person. So first she was on the floor. She couldn't seem to move. And now she's in her room. You could even say that she took all the daggers out of her bath and mounted them as a reminder as to what not to do in the future. You know what I mean? But I think the main focus has to be on the 9 of Pentacles. I love this card. I often said it was myself. You know, a raven-haired lady with a cat round her shoulders, a witch hat on the floor, a book in her hand, and chocolates and wine nearby. That's definitely me. Sitting in the garden, enjoying nature under an apple tree. This is totally my card. You know, it's even has the hairstyle that I want. I mean, that's very, very envious. You know, I really want this. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, this card seems to be for me quite a culmination of a fair few things. You have fruition here, you have gratitude and luxury here, you have all that knowledge that maybe you've been swatting up on to dive into this month. I think potentially could be maybe what happens on the bottom half if you're in a low vibration. This could be what happens if you're in a higher vibration. So maybe at the start, do try and get yourself up to a certain balance, I think. Because it could be that you feel like a relationship's become too heavy, or a situation's become too heavy in general, not romantic, and then you're having too much to do, and then it feels like you've been stabbed in the back, and then, oh no, what do I do now? Back to square one. If you're happy enough, it's like, this is a new beginning, new month, new start. Okay, I'm going to ask my guides. This is where I go forwards, heavy on the path. Let's all change. Let's see what I do next. This is basically saying that this is an opportunity for you to choose. This is something that you may be able to get comfortable with. You're comfortable in your own skin, very much having the fruits of your labour appear overhead, something that seems to scream independence for you. And I do think that that's a very positive light coming in anyway. Let's see what comes through with the runes for dear Taurus for September 2017. Okay, so this is nice. This is the self. This is awareness. So it does seem to feel like, you know, you are becoming more aware. You are being more intricate when it comes to, you know, yourself and how you interpret things and what you look for. Maybe even what you pick up, like if there's any returning signs that may be going on for you, you know, like having this sort of feeling as to, hey, hang on a second, I've noticed this pattern before, and just recognizing things, that awareness that maybe says there's something to change here, there's something to do, something else you need to do. Oh, okay, this is a ruse. This is not quite reverse, but this is speed and physical strength. So, you know, I don't think you want to be frail. I don't think you want to have this kind of rash ability. Again, it seems to need to be in balance here. You need some structure. Somebody's taking away your structure. Who is it? Is it you? If not, put it back. You know, I think that's the kind of thing that this is coming through. They're saying there's no benefit to agony. There's no benefit to agony. There's no, basically, to me, that says there's no reason to put yourself through hell and back. There really is no reason for you to just say, oh, well, I've got to do all this. Just kind of mind yourself and mind your energy a lot of the time. This one, ooh, now this. So this is endurance and survival. I actually was asking them about another one to clarify this one. So yeah, I'll just put this in the middle here because I think it can bridge the two. So this is basically survival. You know, this is the determination and maybe the patience that we have here, the determination of moving forwards, despite any setbacks that you may have. It could also be that messages come through that knock you back a little bit. Communication maybe pushes you a little bit and you go, oh, that wasn't the news I wanted to hear. You know, I don't think that you have to worry too much about that, though I do believe this is quite a positive turn. And then I'll just do one final rune for the last one. Oh, cool. So this is about new beginnings, endings and new beginnings, which the Wheel of Fortune is all about. I think it's also finding kind of like the synchronicity of things. Again, like I was saying, the double numbers, the triple numbers, that kind of thing may be something that you have to look into. But it's very much kind of like having the thing refresh again. But again, it's patterns. So it may be that you end one pattern to go into another. I hope it's not keeping in the same one that may feel like you're continuously feeding yourself too much to do, but it does feel as though you're kind of going to be able to bridge into something new this time. You're going to be able to see what information comes through for you, pick and choose maybe which direction you go to next. But I do believe that if you just kind of take on board some certain things, you're not going to go wrong. But let me know how it goes. I really do hope that September brings a lot of positivity for you, Taurus. Have you got anything planned? Is there anybody having a very good time? Let me know if this resonates with you. I always love your messages. Thank you so much for subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. everything you do. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'll leave all that information down below, because everything that you give to me there goes into this channel, and I really do wish you all the incredibly very best for this month ahead. I look forward to reading for you in October. If you want a personal reading in the meantime, just click the link below or email me, and I'll see you very, very soon.